again, SPED 2010 students. I'm making this video to discuss the co-teaching assignment. There have been some questions, so hopefully this video will eliminate any further questions and we can get a better idea and understanding of what is expected for this assignment. So first of all, I just wanted to show you how to get to the assignment. If you go under Module 1, okay, so the first thing you have to do is hit Course Information. You will choose Content. Then you will choose Module 1, Getting Started. Now, under the Module 1, you're going to see a section called Assessment Information. Once you click on that, you're going to scroll down until you see Major Assignments. So one of the major assignments you're going to have to complete is the co-teaching lesson plan and presentation. So when you click on it, you're going to see that the assignment comes up. So the whole premise behind this co-teaching assignment is really for you to learn evidence-based strategies that can be used in the classroom. So you're going to choose one of these strategy choices. So we've got graphic organizers, schema instruction, repeated readings, fluency, peer-mediated support, multi-sensory instruction, visual support cues, self-monitoring, mnemonic strategies. That one's a little bit confusing. It's called mnemonic. The N is silent. Activate prior knowledge, task analysis, and pre-teaching vocabulary. So you're only choosing one of these strategies and you're going to research this strategy. Now remember, this strategy is used in classrooms. It's used quite often with teachers who co-teach, but you can use it in a regular gen ed or SPED classroom as well, even if you are not co-teaching. Remember, co-teaching is where you pair up or work with another teacher. Now obviously, since this is an online class, I gave you the choice of whether you wanted to work alone or with a partner. Most of us have chosen to work alone, which is fine. We'll get into the lesson plan and what you need to put in the co-teaching section. So there are videos that will really help explain co-teaching a little further, and we'll go into that and where to find them. That will really help you navigate. And I'm even going to put them in here on the co-teaching section so you can have them. That explains co-teaching models, which we're going to spend a whole week on co-teaching models in the last module. But it's important for us to really understand co-teaching and its benefits. But this assignment is more than just learning to work with another teacher. This assignment is really for you to research the strategy, and then you're going to teach us, the pre-service teachers, about how to implement this in the classroom. So I don't want you to misunderstand. This lesson plan is not geared for you to teach students, like elementary, early childhood, middle school, high school students. You're teaching us teachers, pre-service teachers, how to use this strategy in our own classrooms. Okay, so we are going to be the ones you're teaching this to. Now, for this assignment, you will have to do research. There's a wonderful database in the library at Water State that can really help you guide your research. I always tell students that Google is really a good place to start, but that's not where your research should end. So if you were to click on the Water State homepage, which is ws.edu, and once you at the top here, there's a tab called Library. So when you click on it, you're really going to see everything that the library has to offer. So you don't actually have to physically be on the Morristown campus to utilize the library database. You can do this as a Water State student from anywhere. So if you see here on the left side of your screen, there's a section or a link called A to Z Database List. Okay. So there are a lot of databases that Water State offers you as a student. Okay, I would stick to the ones that are most popular. Okay, so when you're in the database, we're really thinking about education because these strategies are for education majors, for teachers. So a really good place to start, a lot of students like Academic Search Premier. That's quite a popular one. You are allowed to search by subject matter, so you can choose education. Now, once you choose education, you'll see that your results are showing all the databases for education. The one that I would suggest is the Academic Search Premier. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with databases and how to utilize research. The research coaches in the library are really wonderful. They'll even meet with students via Teams if they're not able to make it to the Morristown campus. So that's something to think about too. If you're not familiar and need to know how to use this, or you have questions about citing your sources, they're a wonderful resource, and you can actually even ask me to help you as well. So at the top, when you click on it, you can go ahead and start searching. So searching, I want you to think about it as if you're tagging someone on a social media account, because this is how the database really searches, is almost through what we would call hashtags. So say you chose to do task analysis. I can spell today, that would be nice. And that's the keyword, right? So you're putting in keywords or those hashtags, and you can choose and or not. So this is really going to help navigate your search. So say you want to look specifically in early childhood, right? So how would I implement task analysis in early childhood? Then I would hit search. Okay. So as you see, I have some academic journals that come up. One thing I want to note here, as you're doing your search, please remember to choose ones that have full text. So you have some filters here on the left. You can do peer-reviewed articles, you can do full text, you can select academic journals. Always make sure that you look for the PDF full text. That means you have access to the entire article, and it's not just a abstract or synopsis of what you're reading. So you'll just look through here and see kind of what you would like to look at when it's discussing how to use task analysis. Now remember, this is just one way to gather research about what this strategy is and why it's used with children in the classroom and how it's used. Now, since this is a special ed classroom, I really want you to think about that, okay? So if you're going through search, you could put special education as one of your tags or your keywords. So this is another way for you to really gear in, because, you know, this is what we are doing, special education. But you can also think about, you know, maybe you don't want to go into special education. Maybe not all the pre-service teachers are going to be doing that. They may just have regular gen ed students, with students in there who have IEPs as well. So just think about what is really going to speak out to you, but also able to answer questions about what is task analysis. Okay, this is our example, depending on what strategy you choose. What is it? How is it used? Why is it used? And really, besides how it's used, is really coming up with why this is important and how this helps students, right? So going back to this, after you complete your research, you're really going to do a co-teaching lesson plan. So remember, part of this assignment is two parts. The first part is your lesson plan. The second part is going to be your presentation. Now, your presentation is really going to be where you can shine as far as your visuals. The lesson plan and the PowerPoint presentation should not mirror each other, meaning that your PowerPoint should not have the same exact content as your lesson plan, okay? The PowerPoint is really an opportunity for you to show us videos or show us photos of how we use this in elementary. How do we use this analysis in middle school or high school? What does it actually look like, right? We want to see it in action. Also, it's a really good opportunity for you to showcase, you know, some outside links. Also, your assessment component could be in there as well. So first, let's look at the lesson plan. Okay, so this is the lesson plan. And as you'll note, This is an example that I put up here for you. But before we get an example, I just want to show you the blank lesson plan. So this is a blank lesson plan. You are going to complete this lesson plan. If you see here at the top, you have 2 teachers because, of course, this is a co-teaching assignment. If you are choosing to do this alone, you would put you as one of the teachers, and then you can either make up a name or just put second teacher, or just make something up there, right? Because it's only going to be you. Now, I'm going to show you the videos of where you're going to find all the co-teaching explanations of what they look like in the classroom, because you need to learn what parallel teaching is. What does that look like when you have 2 teachers doing that in one classroom? So you're going to choose at least 2 of these approaches. When you co-teach, you use multiple approaches throughout the day. Okay, so you're not staying with alternative teaching the entire time as a team. So you're going to pick at least 2 of these strategies for co-teaching within the strategy you pick. Okay, now your subject strategies right here, okay, is teaching. Your topic lesson is going to be what strategy you chose. So let's go with task analysis again. We'll put task analysis. You put the date. You're going to put your in-task standards, okay? And you will also need to put your lesson outcomes. So lesson outcomes are really what the student's supposed to be able to do once we get finished with the assignment. So you need to have at least 2 goals. I wouldn't do no more than 2. 2 is plenty. The materials needed. So this is just going to be any handouts or attachments that you may have that you need in order to complete your lesson. Any vocabulary you may use. Now in the next section, we actually start getting into the lesson itself. Now anticipatory set is like a hook. It's how you grab students' attention. Normally this is anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. It's the shortest part of your lesson. You're going to put in here, and I want you to type it in, of what your hook is or your anticipatory set. How are you going to grab the student's attention? Now most students will put what the objective is in there, or they'll ask a question or have really fun activity that's a couple minutes that's really related to our subject matter, so it grabs their attention right away. Now, as you'll see, you have teacher 1 role and teacher 2 role, okay? That's going to depend on what type of co-teaching approach you're going to use. Okay, so let's say that we're doing station teaching, okay? One teacher will be at a station while the other teacher's at a station, okay? You will put what your lesson is going to include for each teacher. So what is each teacher's role? What are they actually doing? Your lesson activities. This should actually be the majority of your lesson. Now, I do want to point out, your lesson should be no more than 30 minutes long. I do not want it longer than 30 minutes, okay? So say you have 2 to 3 minutes for your anticipatory set. The majority of the time will be here. You'll have a couple of minutes for your closure, maybe say 5, and then you'll have another 2 to 3 minutes for your formative assessment, okay? So just keep in mind your time frame altogether for the entire lesson should not conclude further than 30 minutes. Okay, so your lesson activity, you're going to put teacher 1 role, what they're doing, teacher 2 role. So each teacher plays a key part. Each teacher should have stake in the lesson, meaning that each teacher has responsibilities and it's not put all on one teacher. Co-teaching is kind of like the word phrase that they use team teaching. You're doing it together. You're using different strategies, different approaches to meet the goals or outcome of the students, okay? Your closure is how you close the lesson out. A lot of people choose to revisit the goal or do an exit ticket, right? That's the way you close it. You're just summing up what you've learned, seeing what they know. Now, your formative assessment is what every good teacher should do. You need to see where the students are, if they understood the assignment, if the objectives have been met, and that's where you give feedback, okay? So that'll be an assessment where you ask questions, and I'll get to that in just a minute. And then you have any questions that you want to ask the students related to the topic. This could be throughout the lessons. You'll just put them there at the bottom. Okay. In here, some students choose to put their assessment, but remember, I would also like your assessment within your PowerPoint as well. Okay, so that's going to be your lesson plan format. I have an actual co-teaching lesson plan template. As you can see here, they actually use 3 types of approaches for co-teaching, right? They chose to do multi-sensory instruction. Okay, they put the INTAS standard, and I'm going to put them up there for you under co-teaching assignment, as well as the videos, so you can see the standard you need to use. Now with the INTAS standard, you need to look at your lesson after you get it done and see what standards you are using within your lesson and your approach of co-teaching. That's how you will figure out what your standard is. They put their lesson outcome. You can see they didn't have any more than 2, which would suffice. They had materials, their vocabulary, and then they started getting into the lesson. So really, I'm not going to go through this all because I want you to. This is a chance for you to go ahead and see how, an example of how someone completed the lesson plan. Okay. I also have at the bottom, and I got this at the very bottom of the instructions, I also have an example of a presentation. Now this one was based on visual support cues. The main thing I'm really looking for inside of this assignment, when you're doing the presentation component, I want you to explain what the strategy is. What are visual supports, right? I don't want you to tell me what co-teaching is. Co-teaching is just an approach of how you're going to approach the strategy and teach the students. It's not actually based on what your strategy is. You're teaching us a strategy, so that's what your PowerPoint presentation should be. So the first slide, they talked about what the visual supports were. They gave us examples of some of the strategies. Why should we use them in the classroom? Okay, this is very important. What it is, defining what the strategy is. How can you use it? Give us some examples, okay? They put in YouTube. So outside links are really good way. Also, visuals really help. You can see here, they showed you different ways to use visual cues in the classroom. Now remember, when you're putting your PowerPoint presentation together, I want you to think about multiple grade levels. Not everyone in our class is going to be teaching early childhood or elementary. Some people may want to go into middle school or high school. So I'd like different examples across different grade levels of how you can use this strategy. Okay, so obviously these are for early childhood. Okay, now you're starting to get up into the elementary, middle school level. Okay, then they put their questions. This is that assessment component that we talked about in the lesson plan. I do want you to have a mixture within your formal assessment. I'd like some of them to be multiple choice. Maybe there's a true and false. Maybe there's a fill in the blank or a matching. Or maybe they have a short answer. So a mixture of questions would be good. I would like at least 4, so you can do 5 if you'd like, but at least 4 would be good. And then you have to put your answers, so don't forget to put your answers there as well. Now remember, I will be using some of these questions from your PowerPoint on the assessment. Okay, so whatever strategy you have, I'll be asking questions about it on the test. The very last slide should be your bibliography or your reference page. This is where you're going to cite your sources. Whatever resources you used should be cited on your last page of your presentation. Remember, it's important for you to give credit where credit's due. You cannot take someone's work and pass it off as your own. You do have to reference that source. So any YouTube links, any pictures have to be on there, any kind of visual, anything that you did not create has to be referenced. Now the reference format I want you to use is APA. So just make sure that if you're not familiar, we go back to the home page. You have some wonderful librarians here that be more than happy to help you. There also is a section here about citing your sources. Okay, so this is the guide for MLA, and this is the APA guide when you're creating APA citations. You do not have to put references or citations inside of your lesson plan, just in the PowerPoint, okay? So there is a rubric here that I wanted to bring up. This rubric shows you how I'm going to grade you on this assignment. There's a possible 40 points available for this assignment. I split the grades up into 2 parts. So you have a total of 20 points that you can earn in a lesson plan, and you have another 20 total points that you can earn for your presentation. So I wanted to take some time and go through the rubric so you understand how you're going to be graded. I always tell students that once you complete, it's good to really look at rubric twice. The first time you need to look at is to see what is expected of you on assignment, okay, in addition to the instructions. The second time you view your rubric should be when your completed work is done and you go back and make sure that you've hit everything that you're supposed to. So you'll see that I'm giving 2 points for your standard, so the in-task standard needs to be listed. Your outcomes, 1 or 2, at least 1 is necessary, 2 is better. You should have a materials list, and you can see this first section, each one is worth 2 points. Your vocabulary should be listed. Your time frames should be listed for each section inside your lesson plan, and it should fall within the time frame of 30 minutes. You have your hook or your anticipatory set. Your lesson activities support your outcome, they're engaging. It shows that you are using multiple approaches in co-teaching. Your closure is basically a reinstatement of your lesson outcomes. You do have a formative assessment within your lesson plan. And the last one is showing each teacher has stake in this lesson, meaning each teacher are using the different co-teaching formats. So that's what will give you the possibility of 20 points on the first section of your lesson plan. The last section is really going to be your PowerPoint presentation. So this is going to be worth 20 points available for you. So then they're worth different points. So for instance, the first section really is defining that teaching strategy. Okay, what's its purpose? Which students is supportive of that strategy? And that has to be provided. That's worth 5 points. The second section here is that you're showing me at least one example of school-age student. Multiple examples you'll see I put in parentheses across different age range is better. Okay, you can move up to possibly 5 points with that. The next one is really giving us sources to use. Okay, this could be through your visual, this could be links. Links are better. You need at least one link. Now the link could be a handout, a PDF handout. It could be a link to a website or a video. Anything like that would fit here. You can have at least one, but no more than 2. So be careful with how many you put in there, because remember, you still have to stay within that time frame of 30 minutes. The next section, okay, and that was worth 3 points. The next section is also worth 3 points, and this is going to be your formative assessment, those questions. You need to include at least 3 to 5. Remember, at least 2 of them should be multiple choice. The others could be true and false, matching, short answer, and don't forget to add the answers as well. Now remember, when you're asking these questions, obviously you need to make sure that the lesson objectives were met. But what I'm looking for is really concerning your topic, which is your strategy, and that these questions are appropriate for college level students. And then the last one I'm really looking at is how you put your presentation together. So are the slides appealing? Are they easy to read? Does it flow right? Do you have a lot of mistakes? and errors in there, and that did you use the bibliography and citation page at the end to cite your sources, and that's worth 4. Okay, so you have a total of 40 points. Now remember, this counts as one of our major assignments, so it's worth quite a bit. So that is the rubric for the assignment. I put in here what you need to do, your instructions. I went over a lot of what we have to do. I do want you to read through it. So I'm going to put up in here for you, just so you're aware. So I'm going to go back to major assignments. On this section here, I will be putting in the in-task strategies for you to use, as well as the co-teaching video models. That way you will be able to use that when you're completing your lesson plan, okay? So you will know what videos, what this alternative teaching approach look like? What does one teach, one assist approach look like? This is something for you to know. Now just keep in mind that if you choose to work alone, when you're on the lesson plan, co-teaching lesson plan form, you still have to provide the other teacher's role. So even though you may be working alone, you need to come up with another role. If you're doing one teach, one assist, that is not going to work if you just have teacher one role listed. It takes 2 teachers to do co-teaching. Okay, just like a pilot has a co-pilot, the same goes for co-teaching. Alright guys, so I hope I was able to make things a little clearer. I hope this helped you gain a better understanding of what I'm expecting from you. If you have any questions, you can email me. We can set up a Teams meeting. So just let me know. I will email you once I have the in-task strategies on there, as well as the co-teaching videos. Alright guys, so until next time, take care, and I'll see you then.